Movies and chill with Zach and Dill. That'll get my giggle box going.
Movies and chill with Zach and Dill.
Our pets' heads are falling off!
Movies and chill
Great Scott!
with Zach and Dill.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Movies and
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
chill.
Well, sorry!
Zach and Dill.
Spartans! Prepare for glory!
The great Oz has spoken.
Movies and chill.
Get to the podcast now.
And welcome back. Done with one half of the bracket, at least the first round. Second part of the bracket underway. And as Luke said off camera, this part of the matchup is a Dr. Seuss slam down. It is The Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, a Ron Howard film, versus Horton Hears a Who. So Dr. Seuss, he's
Here's who?
yeah, a lot of alliteration in that title.
Yes.
Who does he hear?
Yes.
You've got animation versus makeup. Which Jim Carrey did you like the most?
Grinch.
The Grinch.
Okay.
Grinch.
Unanimous. Yeah. Maddie, do you have thoughts?
I want to say The Grinch. That's a tough one, though, because Horton Hears a Who is a really good movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's good.
We can say that.
He doesn't feel like the focus of that movie entirely, though. You
I
know?
mean, the movie technically is more about Steve Carell's character. That's fair. But, I mean, certainly he has more of a role than some of the other characters in the movie. I would say he's number 2.
Yeah.
But what I'll also say is the comedy is not really there for Jim Carrey. It's more about his voice acting in that movie is more about just having a steady, gullible character. Gullible is the word that I thought of,
I
right?
think that movie made me laugh more than The Grinch did.
Why?
I don't know.
Really?
It's like the few
Can we turn her
lines
mic
that-
Because it's like,
Really?
I think he
Here's a
delivered them
who.
very well.
Okay.
But
Well, it's which is
ultimately,
easy to do because it's a cartoon.
Yeah, for sure.
They
So
draw
ultimately,
around
like,
how he says things.
Yeah. So The Grinch is probably a little higher for sure because he was a really good Grinch. Like, I
Well, do you
think
know how much makeup he had to put on to earn
Right,
this ranking
yeah.
in our vote here today?
the effort was there.
He did that knowing that we would put him higher.
Not a dress, it's a
in
kilt.
this. Yeah.
Sicko.
Sicko.
That's true. That movie made me laugh a lot. too.
I mean, you
was
got to think of
surprised.
all the one-liners in
Yeah.
that movie.
I was surprised
The movie
at
is
how much
nothing
I
but
liked
one
it.
liner.
Yeah. Dinner with myself. I can't cancel that again.
5 o'clock, jazzercise.
Wrestle
So
with
good.
myself loathing. I'm booked.
Loathe entirely.
I've
Okay.
seen that one a ton too. Like that was like
The way he chomps on glass for no reason.
He actually did that. Isn't that wild?
Like real glass.
Like here's the
That
thing.
was
It's
a-
probably like candy.
Or
I don't know how they
Sugar
do
glass.
it. How do they do it? The sugar glass, but still, the way he bites on it, how did it not break his face? I don't understand that.
all the makeup. And
Watch that
prosthetics
scene again.
protected him, probably.
Watch that scene again. He takes the bottle and just munches on it, even if it's made of sugar. Like I don't care. How did he not hurt himself on that? It's crazy.
There's a lot of training involved.
It was
He
definitely training.
He became the Grinch and thus superpowered.
59% audience score, which is why the Grinch is ranked 11th.
That's
That's
disappointing.
surprising.
Yeah, I don't think audiences took it as well as we have in this room. For whatever reason, they didn't like it as
It
much.
wasn't very Dr. Seussy. I mean, like
Okay, let me make a comparison that might help.
you know what I mean.
Look at
Zach doesn't know
Mike
what I mean.
Myers. Look at Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
That's a terrible movie, but I love it.
It's
Oh my God.
terrible.
I literally watched it
But-
last week.
Do you know? Do you know how many adult innuendos are in that movie? It was
Something
clearly not aimed at
magical.
just kids.
Full of wonder.
Yeah. Dirty hoe. Just- I
Fired.
didn't mean that, baby.
Anything?
Oh my gosh.
Anything?
But I compare that to the Grinch, another Dr. Seuss. The Dr. Seuss, they like went for that adult humor in the Dr. Seuss. Like,
That's a good angle.
well, yeah, but like there's stuff that goes. There's stuff that goes like over kids' head, like really, really easily. Like there was one part in the Grinch. Did you guys remember this part in the Grinch where the babies are coming in and they're showing like where the Grinch came from? Like he comes in like a stork, and the one baby goes to the door, and the guy gets it. Oh, look, honey, our baby's here. He looks like your boss. That's funny. Like adults get that joke. Anyway, it's just like the Cat in the Hat. Like the jokes are like over their heads, but man, it's risque. 59% though, and then the other one, Horton Hears a Who, that one got 73. I think, to be fair, cartoons will always do better in the audience rating because you got to throw kids in the mix.
Yeah.
When parents can take kids to go see the movie, they're going to positively rate the movie. So I think that kind of explains why it's higher. But based on our voting, the Grinch runs away with this upset.
Most people like that when they're kids.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say over there? I missed it.
Are you making?
No, not at all.
I missed it too. I missed it too.
At least let me hear it.
I said it in the microphone.
You'll hear it.
Yeah.
I'll emphasize it on the video later.
So what do we have left? We got 1, 9, 12, 4, and now an 11. So we've got that typical 12-5 upset. And then we got an 11 over a 6. But it's been mostly a pretty competitive looking bracket, if you will. Let's go to the next matchup. Cable Guy and the Truman Show. A 14 versus 3 matchup. Cable Guy is 14th because it was not well received by the masses. 51%.
Oh, I'm sorry, is that?
That surprised me too. I thought it would be. Critics panned it.
Yeah.
Critics absolutely hated Ben Stiller's movie.
Freaking great.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they weren't. But they even said he even brought it up one time. He says it's not the typical Jim Carrey movie, so nobody liked it because he was technically kind of like a
typecasted.
Well, he's typecasted dark, and I don't know.
It is a very dark.
But it was. I thought it was great.
By contrast, Truman Show, he steps away from comedy and does what I think is his best serious performance in the Truman Show, and I think audiences agree. They gave it 89%, so very high rating for this movie. Truman Show is very good, in my opinion. I ranked it high in my voting. Some people haven't seen it.
Oh, really?
And by some people, I mean Luke.
Oh, dear. Okay.
Yeah.
What?
How has this one escaped you this long?
Just never had the opportunity to watch it.
I mean,
I've
only watched it once.
Didn't have it growing up, and I don't know that it's on any streaming platforms.
Can I suggest something for your Saturday night? Watch the Truman Show
Tonight?
Yeah, go home.
I still don't have it. How do I watch it?
I can give it to you.
Digital.
You have it with you?
In my pocket.
It's on Hulu, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime.
Do you have any of those?
It's on Disney Plus.
Because it's Hulu. It's related
It
to
says
Hulu.
premium subscription though. What does that mean?
I
This
don't know
means
if
if you bought Disney Plus, you have Hulu as well.
Interesting.
Yeah. Do you have Hulu or do you have Disney Plus? Luke, I'm going to say it again.
I'll
Get
bleep
a
that
job.
out. I'll bleep that out.
No.
Get a job.
No.
I'll bleep that
Actually,
out.
I have a job. My job is giving other people jobs.
I was just kidding. I know you have a job. Anyway,
Nothing.
Cable
What?
Guy.
Move forward.
Huh?
Can we appreciate like how early in his career he took a giant risk?
Oh, yeah.
Seriously.
Like-
Like he had just established in 2 years one of the best comedy runs
Mhm.
in history, reinventing like the way we do slapstick comedy in a movie. And then he goes and he's like, you know what? I'm going to do this wild character that people probably will hate. And they did. They
Oh,
went to it thinking he was going to talk out of his rear end, like in Ace Ventura. And when he didn't do that, and he was actually a despisable character, you're like, what is this?
Mhm.
That's why I didn't like the movie a ton. Like his character almost makes me uncomfortable.
That's
Which
the
is
point.
great. Yeah, that's the point.
Yes.
That means he did a good job,
Yeah,
apparently.
that's-
He's
I think he
he's
did
the
a good job.
character. He's the
Yeah.
character that you're like.
He's like a stalker.
Everybody knows a Cable Guy like person, and you're just like ew, they're ewy.
He's in this room.
Yeah.
Is he in the room with us?
Yeah. His name rhymes with Lanner.
What?
No.
Somebody had to do it.
Had to be done. Okay,
The
so
chosen one.
out of this matchup, Cable Guy and the Truman Show,
I'm gonna abstain from this one.
pretty close in our rankings. Very close. Both were in our top 10, but kind of winning this one, going away, was the Truman Show. So Truman Show moves on, which I think all is right in the world. Truman Show should move on. Luke, you're the reason that ranking was even close, because if I had somebody who didn't rank a movie, I just gave them 12 or 20 points to add to the formula. It's a big math thing I did to make this possible.
Probably had it towards almost the first movie. Top, probably, right?
No.
Okay, good.
Don't do that. Don't guess.
I'm not guessing. I'm just saying.
Misinformation.
I don't think it should have won this round.
Where did you? Can I just single Zach out? Where did you think you put this movie?
Lower than Cable Guy.
Where do you think?
I can't remember now. I sent it to you a while ago. So.
Answer me.
Take a look. I had it on my phone.
I don't think you had it in your ranking. Did you?
Is that possible?
You did.
Let me see.
Where did you put it in your ranking?
I'm trying to remember. Oh, let's wait.
I thought we weren't supposed to name numbers.
No,
numbers.
But I know where his number is, and it won't ruin too much.
Don't name numbers, guys.
Don't name numbers.
Don't number numbers.
Well, how many did you say? What? It's not even in my. Yeah, it's lower. I got it towards the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my point.
He still doesn't understand the concept.
What do you mean?
It's okay.
No, I put it towards the bottom. Didn't even make it on the list on mine.
So let's move on, because Zach's not good at rating stuff.
It's hard.
Ranking stuff. This stuff is hard.
Jim
You
Carrey
ain't
movies.
good at rating stuff. That's where I would put it after all the other movies. I didn't do it because I've seen it one time and I've never watched it since.
Well, don't throw any pie at me. All right? It's okay. Lemony Snicket's is our next one. That's the 10-7 matchup. Lemony Snicket's number 10 against The Mask, a classic.
An unfair matchup.
Kind of feels like Lemony Snicket's has an uphill battle here. But your thoughts about these two movies?
I don't think I haven't really seen it. So
You haven't seen Lemony Snicket's?
yeah, really,
Okay.
I've seen like parts of it, so I couldn't.
I've seen
rate
it a
I
couple
didn't want to
times.
rate it because I really don't have an opinion on it. So
Another one of those
I think I
rare
put it down.
instances where Jim Carrey plays the villain of the movie.
Yeah.
I think he's amazing.
He does a good.
He's very good.
He was
He's
good
very
in that role.
Yeah.
Very ominous.
Yeah.
But
What's a
not like
line? What's a good line from that movie? It's been so long.
Lemony Snicket.
Like the one that everybody
I am your beloved Count Olaf.
I'm sorry, I don't speak monkey.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't
Dingy dingy.
That's good.
banana.
Meanwhile, The Mask has so many quotable moments.
What
like,
can you say about The Mask? Cameron Diaz's first movie ever.
I think Cameron Diaz sells it for Jim Carrey. The whole movie.
I mean,
She's a big part of the movie's chemistry. I think they have good chemistry because he's innocent. She's kind of like damaged goods because of who she's been with, like in that mob world.
Dory.
Yeah, and so she's looking for like a way out.
That's his name.
And I don't think it's plausible that he ends up with her at the end, but that's not really what the movie's about. It's more about like the comedy of your inner cartoon character coming out. And I will say, like, of all of his physical performances, it's so he is a cartoon character.
Mm-hmm.
All they did was CGI the wolf on his face, but it's his body contorting to like do everything. Oh, like everything you see the
So
character.
heart being in and out of his
Yeah,
chest, that was
it's
all Jim.
actually his
That
heart.
was all Jim.
It's really his heart.
Hey,
Like when his
if
eyes
ever there was
bulge
an
out,
actor to
Yeah.
tear his
That
heart
they
out
just
for a
rock and
role,
roll.
it'd be Jim.
It's like the perfect role for him.
Well,
I mean, he's a human cartoon.
Yeah.
basically.
think about this. Like, do you know what happened to Brendan Fraser? Like his career derailed because his body just kind of gave out, and he stepped
didn't know.
away from roles for the longest time. Made his kind of big comeback with the DC role. Like he was in Doom Patrol. And that was kind of his foot back in the door. And then he did The Whale.
I haven't seen Doom Patrol.
Well, he's come back and he's back in the limelight a little bit. But I bring him out because he's another actor like Jim Carrey that took on such physically demanding roles, and it just tore his body up. And Jim Carrey, just give him props. Like he is alive and kicking. His body is in good shape, and I think he's in like a good spirituality mindset. But Brendan Fraser, I really, just on a side note, glad that he's back doing movies because I really enjoyed like everything he did. But just you got to appreciate how physical Jim Carrey is in his performances. Absolutely nutty. What's your favorite like Jim Carrey moment? Like in any movie where he's like, his body just looks like Jell-O. Like he's so good at contorting his body.
I'm a big fan of when in Bruce Almighty she's waking him up.
Yes,
out of
I already
bed,
know.
and he's just flailing.
Yes,
that is my favorite Jim Carrey moment.
Yeah, so good. I think I picture myself getting up like that.
One scene that comes to mind for me for Jim Carrey being like super animated is in Liar Liar, when they're in court and he's got his own client on the stand and he's trying to get her to answer a question, but he can't phrase it the way he wants to because the only answer would be a lie. So he's like going he's going crazy in the courtroom, and he's like,
yes. You know that bathroom scene where he beats himself up?
That's what I was going to say.
He's actually doing it.
He's actually beating himself up.
Have you seen the TV version of that?
Wait,
No.
Because in the actual movie, when the old man comes in the bathroom, he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm kicking my expletive." And then in the TV version, he's like, "I'm kicking my," and it like weirdly alters his mouth, and he's like, "But,"
you know,
it caught me off guard. I was watching it on TV, and I was like, "That's not what he says."
That's not what he says at all. You just gave me Vietnam flashbacks. There was a moment that was in Dumb and Dumber. You know, because Dumb and Dumber lived on TBS for a decade. I watched that movie. It was on every night on TBS.
Super popular.
Yeah. So that movie was on repeat every night on TBS. But they didn't have the curse words, just like you just described.
Sometimes it's funnier that way.
It was hilarious. Like the scene that I'm thinking of is when they're arguing at the end, and the bad guys got him by gunpoint, and they're sitting there, and he goes, "You just tell me where to sign, bud." And then he goes, "Right on my," he's supposed to say right on my ass, but he says, but the TBS was like, "Well, that's too much. We can't have him say ass." So what he says instead is, "Right on my sandwich," after you kiss it. It's like, that doesn't even fit. Who says that?
It's funnier.
It's so funny. Like he says sandwich. And then he goes like, "Oh yeah." It's such a wild scene. But I'll never forget that. Thinking like, I've seen this movie and he doesn't say sandwich.
You don't even have to watch the movie. Like, it's just so quotable. You can see it in your mind's eye.
Well, and they didn't do the weird visual thing with his mouth that you described. He still says ass.
Well, that's what it looks like in Liar Liar. He goes like with his mouth. He opens it like he's saying that.
Yes.
But it just comes out like butt, which clearly has a B.
Well, that's what, and then Dumb and Dumber's like, sandwich. It doesn't make any sense. Like, how does that work? Who did this?
It's like a YouTube poop almost.
Yeah.
Did I tell you the numbers on this?
No.
Lemony Snicket, 63%. So that's about where I would put it.
It's higher than I thought it'd be.
People kind of, they liked it if they saw it. Is kind of how I looked at it.
It was kind of I don't know, it kind of came in under the radar for some people who didn't like read the books. They didn't really get like the source material. That's probably why it didn't get a sequel.
I have a strange number for The Mask. You would think that movie would be off the chart, but it's ranked number 7 because it's.
I'm gonna guess 74.
Close, 68. 68% audience score. Do you think The Mask is watchable, like rewatchable? Even now,
I watch it. I watch it literally every year.
That's why I'm surprised. I think that movie is much better than people think. Just my thought. But no secret, we're gonna run away with this one. The Mask goes on to the
line from
second
The
round.
Mask?
My favorite line? Oh, my.
Everybody's favorite line from The Mask.
Oh, I love the. My favorite scene from that movie is the balloon animal scene.
Yeah.
When he gets sad.
Yes.
Well, there's a couple where he yells like "Tommy gun," but there's the one where he makes the poodle. And he pops and goes, "Sorry, son, the dog had rabies. Had to put it down."
Yeah. So good.
We have a giraffe. Here you go, son. Now get out of here. You bother me.
I like the every interaction with the detective and Jim Carrey. It's so good. And your pajamas. Just
so over it.
Yeah.
Epcot.
I have a permit for that.
That's impossible. Those pajamas are impossible.
Picture of Calloway's wife. Margaret!
Shut up.
Jeez, I thought you had a sense of humor.
I love movies where they let Jim Carrey just eat the scenery, just chew it up and be as ridiculous as possible. Let's go to the next one. Our last one in this round is Fun with Dick and Jane and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I don't think you can get two movies any more different than those two movies. Yeah. Go. Your thoughts.
Another matchup where I've not seen either one, unfortunately.
Get out. All right.
I think Eternal Sunshine is like. I'm pretty sure that movie made me cry. It was really, if I remember correctly, it was really sad.
Number 2 overall on the critic score.
Didn't the old Tuffy trash bag commercials make you cry too, though?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Did you say Tuffy?
Tuffy?
Or what do they call it? Hefty, yeah. I said Tuffy. I just made up a Whippy. Tuffy. That's not the brand name.
That's a
I think I had like 4 other brands in my head. I just mixed them all up.
Tufty.
Tufty.
I feel like you would have had a good
Hufty.
Yeah.
Ruined by your wrong.
All right. Punked again. That you're not wrong. That movie is definitely, it gets you in the feels.
Emotional.
Yeah.
It's touching.
Yeah.
I might have to give it a watch.
Grabs the old heartstring.
Sure does.
Sure does. I think you have to watch Eternal Sunshine more than once to get it.
I agree with that.
Does anybody in the room think they got it the first time?
I've only seen it once,
I haven't seen
which
it.
is why I ranked it
I
a
didn't
little
get it.
low-ish. I don't remember it.
I think you should watch it again.
Yeah.
I think you should
I
give it
didn't
another
watch
watch.
I didn't get it after the zero.
I
time
didn't get
saw
it at all.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense.
You've seen it. You haven't seen it? No. Okay. The concept of the movie
I know.
is so good.
I know what it's about. And I've seen clips about it, so I know what it is.
What's
But
the
again, I haven't seen all the way
bullet
through, so I
points
can't
for the
really
plot?
rank it.
Cliff Notes version.
I'm sure it's a real good movie.
Jim Carrey, Kate Winslet are in a relationship.
She's on the Titanic, right?
Yeah,
That was
Titanic.
confusing.
Titanic chick.
Pull some out. You put some out.
And they're in a relationship together, but they want to forget about it. I think Jim Carrey does.
It's been a while.
No, I can't remember the order. Like the one, they both at the same time decide they want to no longer remember their relationship. It hurts too much to remember the other.
Like they broke up.
They broke up, yeah. And there's this technology in the movie. They put this device and they go into your dreams and they remove memories of the other person.
Interesting.
And so in the middle of this process, Jim Carrey's character realizes he doesn't want to forget her. So it's kind of visually a stunning movie, like for its time. Like the visuals of the movie, not as good or as incredible as what's that Robin Williams movie where he dies and
The dreams may come.
What Dreams May Come?
What dreams may come?
Yeah. What Dreams? It's like it reminds me of that in like the visual style. Like it's dreamy. Like there's a lot of reverie scenes and things like that. Kind of trippy at times. But if you're not paying attention, you don't know whether we're in the past, the future, the middle. You don't know where we are, which
So
is
it
why
jumps
you
around
need to
a lot.
watch it a second time. Another movie like that, Donnie Darko. If you watch Donnie Darko, you don't know what the heck you just saw until you watch it again.
I've seen
and then
it
you
once.
piece things together.
And I was lost from
Yes,
start to finish.
exactly. And so you watch it again.
It's so bizarre.
And then like stuff at the end, you're like, oh, but that's why he does that. So you watch movies like that twice.
I'm going to have to rewatch it then. Cause
yeah.
I got completely turned off by Donnie Darko.
So your Saturday's full now, but you need to watch Eternal Sunshine.
Running out of time.
And then go watch Eternal Sunshine again so that you get it.
What if I just pay extra close attention the first time?
Good luck. You might be the one that picks up on it. I don't know. So the audience scores, did I say that already?
Nope.
Eternal Sunshine, 94%. People love this movie. I think they love how deep it is. They love I don't know. The plot of it is really unique. So maybe that's why. But that's also why it's our number 2 seed. It's one of the highest. The only one higher was Sonic the Hedgehog. But the other movie was Fun with Dick and Jane. And it got a 49%. That's the reason it's so low in our seating, is that it's only 49%.
That seems about right.
I think it's timing.
Yeah.
I think if Fun with Dick and Jane comes out in like 96, it's well received. It's not a bad movie. It's Tia Leone. Is she in it as well? Yeah, and there's a lot of it's kind of a political statement as well, with like slush funds and like big wigs that screw you out of money. Alec Baldwin is like the bad guy in the movie. But I think this movie just came out a couple years too late for Jim Carrey in his career. And I think that's why people kind of canned it. But if you give it another shot and go back and watch this movie, like we appreciate that movie in this room more than I think audiences did.
When did Eternal Sunshine come out?
That was in his
early 2000s.
Yeah, 2005.
Oh,
maybe. I could be off on that one. 2005 to 2008 range for me in my head, but I'm not sure. Because he did like a slew of movies, like the number 23 and...
You're asking for Eternal Sunshine.
Eternal Sunshine, when did it come out?
2004.
Yes. Okay, I was close. I said 2005. 2004 was when it came out, and that one's... It's like in that phase of movies where he didn't want to be labeled as a comedian only. And he did Man on the Moon in that time frame as well. So
99.
Really? I thought it was in 2000s, but
99. Fun with Dick and Jane was 2005.
2005. So yeah, that period of time where he's kind of stepped away, but interesting. The winner of this particular matchup for us, Fun with Dick and Jane, kind of stuns and runs away with this one.
That's surprising.
Because me and him haven't seen it.
And I think that's what it is. I think the people that haven't seen it kind of
you got me wanting to see it now.
It's good. It's really a hidden gem.
Well, that's why I think Fun with Dick and Jane didn't do so well, because he did that movie and everybody loved it so much.
Yes,
that they weren't ready for him to do that.
Go back to the simple comedy.
Yeah. They weren't ready to go back to that. They liked that so much.
I think it was timing, honestly.
Yeah.
So there you have it. We have 8 teams left, or 8 movies, 8 flicks. And we had a couple upsets, 15-2, the biggest of them all, 12-5, 11-6. But I'm loving this. This is shaking out to be a good, we'll call it quarterfinals, Elite 8. Let's take another break. We'll be back. Hey, we're here. We're back. Got more conversation about Jim Carrey and his flicks. We're into the Elite 8. I feel like it's going to go a little quicker here because we've already discussed all 16 of the flicks. Stepping into our first quarter is Sonic the Hedgehog, the 1 seed, against what I think is the most underrated movie left in the field, Ace Ventura 1 and 2. You guys, who you think won this? Just off chance.
I'm gonna guess Ace
I'm
Ventura.
gonna say Ace Ventura.
With the audience
with
we're polling.
With us polling and
Well,
a lot of threats.
I had Sonic pretty low on my list, so.
Yeah. Well,
compared to some of these other gems.
Yeah. Not going to beat around the bush. Ace Ventura is pure comedy gold, and it moves on to our semifinals. Sonic had a good run at number 1. Popular vote, but honestly, Jim Carrey is not the main actor in that movie, and it's kind of off color for the other comedies of this movie. You know, it's not exactly a traditional Jim Carrey comedy movie. It's more of an action comedy. So. Stepping into the next quarter is Bruce Almighty and Dumb and Dumber. This is an intriguing matchup right here. We've got old Jim with middle of his career Jim. I think both movies are funny, but for different reasons. What do you guys think?
I would think Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah. You and I would think Dumb and Dumber because of what generation we're from.
Yeah. I was just trying to think like with everybody. It's like, no, maybe not.
I mean, you gotta understand. We've got different age group here, different experiences.
Okay,
I got a lot more laughs in Dumb and Dumber. So
I would agree. I think it's more quotable.
Oh yeah,
I think it's a better movie for like replay value. I think you would rather watch Dumb and Dumber over and over again than Bruce Almighty.
There's more laughs.
Are there more
than Bruce Almighty? I would say so.
Do the co actors make a difference? Jeff Daniels
versus
Jennifer Aniston, Morgan Freeman.
I think Bruce Almighty had a better story.
Agreed.
Oh yeah.
Agreed.
Dumb and Dumber was probably funnier.
If you go see Dumb and Dumber for plot, you're gonna walk away disappointed.
I mean, Bruce Almighty's funny, but Jim Carrey's really the only shining comedy aspect of that movie, whereas Dumb and Dumber, half of the comedy comes from the co-star Jeff Daniels.
Which is why I ask, like, is it a better Jim Carrey movie in that regard? But I think you have to. It takes two to tango in that movie. Like Dumb and Dumber is gold because they have good chemistry together, and Jeff Daniels, to that point, wasn't really a comedian at all. I would still argue he's not a comedian.
Not really.
He's more the. He just embraced the role and kind of went with it. So they had something they didn't know they had, and it became an instant success. I'll also say this, Bruce Almighty, I agree with you. It's a better movie because even though he's very funny in it, his character is very serious. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a goofy reporter, and part of his charm is his goofiness. But there's actual moments that you feel in that movie. You mentioned, what were you bawling about? Sorry.
Not that movie.
I know.
What were you crying about?
I'm just kidding.
I always go back. When did he cry?
No, he was bawling his eyes out about something. Which movie were you? Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah.
This Bruce Almighty is more one for me. Yeah. When he's on his knees praying, when Jennifer Aniston is like, he just wants to forget about him. You know, like it definitely has moments that are heartfelt. Yeah, it's definitely some feels in there. But in the end, let's take a look at the end results because I have to remind myself who did what in this one. Let's see. Wow. You guys ready for this? This was the tightest race we had. We'll call this one a double overtime thriller. Bruce Almighty moves on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
So the Cinderella run continues for Bruce Almighty. Do you want to know? We're
not taking this seriously.
Do you want to know the breakdown of the vote?
Kind of.
Would that make this interesting?
I want to know who to blame.
I was gonna say, do we want to know who to fight after this?
Looking at you, mustache.
Yeah, off screen, we got a voter over there. Let's go. Let's go.
Where's the sword? I want to throw it at
All right, so first of all, every one of us, we had 7 votes on this. No one voted Bruce Almighty worse than 8th. So it's in the top 10 in everybody's hearts in our vote, including AJ. He's not here. He was part of our vote as well.
He couldn't be bothered to show up.
And then Dumb and Dumber, the you couldn't be more split on the vote with Dumb and Dumber. We had
I think it was the top 3 for me.
It was actually number 3 for 3 of us. It was number 11 for 2 of you, 13 for another, and 5th for someone. So kind of all over the place.
Can we say who that?
No, it's okay.
Or do you just know?
I don't even remember.
Why do you hate Dumb and Dumber so much?
I hate it. I think when I watch a movie, I want it to say something, and Dumb and Dumber does not say a ton.
No,
Like,
it's pure
want
comedy.
A message. That's me purely. Like, it's hilarious. It's a very funny movie.
It doesn't have a message. It's about friendship.
I mean, not like an incredibly deep one.
Not really.
Not an incredibly deep message, I would argue.
It's also about money management skills. You see all those IOUs?
Yeah.
Every cent was accounted for.
250,000. Might want to hang out of that one.
What if he shot you in the face?
That's a risk we were willing to take.
Okay, kill him.
It's so good. Okay, so we can mourn Dumb and Dumber. It does go by the wayside.
Tragedy.
We're going to go into the other side of the bracket. We've got the Grinch versus Truman Show. This is a good matchup right here. Another good matchup. I thought Bruce Almighty Dumb and Dumber was a good matchup. This one also has some flavor to it. Yeah, some good spicy, a little bit of salt in there.
Delish.
Just your thoughts. Which one moves on, Grinch or Truman Show?
I'm hesitant to say.
If you put money in Vegas.
I haven't seen the Truman Show, so it's hard to.
Hopefully, Truman Show.
I'm going to say the Grinch moves forward because not enough people have seen the Truman Show or don't like it.
You're playing the odds, my friend, because remember, if someone does not have a movie that they've seen, it's an automatic 20 in our 1 to 20 poll. Mm-hmm. So, again, you're going for the lowest score to be the highest ranked movie. Yeah. And so, because of that, just in our top 10, I'll tell you where the Truman Show is because it's not moving on. The Grinch wins this matchup. But Truman Show was number 6. So it was very high on the list. And just for the sake of argument, Truman Show, we were kind of all over the place. We had 1, 7, 2, 4, 15, 20, and 2. So 4 of us had Truman Show in the top 4. Very close race. Yeah. Well, I think that you want to talk about a movie with meaning.
Yeah, for sure.
Chock full of meaning.
Yeah.
Chock full of meaning. Like just from the paranoia of are things exactly how you think they are in this world to the lesson of turn off the TV, turn off the electronics, go touch grass, as the kids say. That's the message of that movie. So it's just chock full of it. Maddie touched too much grass. She's apparently got allergies.
Just the memory.
Okay, so another close one. We can mourn the Truman Show. One of my favorite flicks is now off the board. And we go to our last quarter, which is The Mask and Fun with Dick and Jane. Thoughts? Go.
I assume The Mask.
Mask for sure.
For sure, hopefully.
Okay.
Because I think the real reason Dick and Jane made it through is because we had a couple of us hadn't seen the other one.
Yeah, I'm surprised Dick and Jane.
Dick and Jane was kind of a surprise squeaker.
Because me and Luke haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Squeaked through. Because I think Eternal Sunshine against The Mask would have been an interesting matchup.
Yeah.
To be honest. Yeah. But, some people haven't done their homework. It's okay. It's fine.
I found out about this on Thursday.
I mean, let's be honest, that's plenty of time. That's plenty of time.
To watch 20 movies.
You had 2, okay?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
In a landslide, it's not close. The Mask, they win this matchup by at least 40 points. There should have been a mercy rule on this one, but there wasn't. And so Dick and Jane goes home. Mask goes into the semis. Brady, if you want, we're gonna keep rolling. But if you want to mark these bad boys up there, be my guest.
I'll mark them down.
While he's doing that, though, intermission before we get to the semis. I love the fact that out of all the actors in Hollywood, Jim Carrey is like the improv king. One of his like most endearing qualities is that they have a script that they give Jim Carrey, and he very rarely follows that script. I have a lot of key like memories, moments that I wrote down here, but I want to hear from you guys. What are some of your favorite moments that you know were just like improv? Do you know had to have been like spur of the moment?
And going back to Liar Liar, there's at the end of the film during the credits, there's like outtakes of like different ways they did scenes.
Yes.
One of my favorite parts of the movie because it's just more laughs, but it's actually the same scene where he's badgering his client in the courtroom and he like folds the paper up and he's like, the goose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So good.
It just cracks me up. Yeah. I don't know if that's because he forgot his line or if he was just improvising, but
that wasn't on my list.
It was good.
But that is a really good moment. Keep them coming. I had from that movie. I had the bathroom beat up scene.
Yeah.
Just improv. He just made that whole thing up. Actually, cracked his head on the linoleum floor. Just.
I thought you were gonna say he like cracked his shin bone on the furnace when he like kicks it.
Oh. Yeah.
He like drags himself by his head into the wall.
You want me to tell you my moments, or do we have any?
Go ahead. No, just go ahead.
Go ahead.
In the Grinch, when he pulls the tablecloth.
And
it perfectly comes off when it wasn't supposed to.
That was one of my scenes.
He runs back and he throws all those.
Messes it all up. It fits so well with his character. In case you couldn't hear, Brady's talking about the scene where the Grinch pulls the tablecloth. That's a great scene. It wasn't even supposed to happen. It was supposed to be a mess, but he pulled it off so cleanly that everything stayed on the table. That's such a good moment. Did I have anything else from the Grinch? I had dinner with myself. That line was ad-libbed. He said dinner with myself. I can't cancel that again. That's so good. That's a line that's not even in the script.
I'm booked.
Yeah. All right. I also have in Ace Ventura, one of his first, like I would argue his first big chance, the talking out of his butt, not in the script. That whole idea of him talking, it's so good now. Now that you know that is not even, it's not scripted. He turned around, and how Tone Loc does not bust out laughing, I'll never know.
I was just about to say, like, the supporting cast needs props.
They need some major props, man. That is so funny to just you're not expecting it. And when you watch SNL, and they do this all the time on SNL, when they practice it all week, and then the live show comes, and an actor chooses to do something completely different, and they all lose it. Like the Californians is a good example. Like Fred Armisen, when he comes in, and he like starts talking in a different voice than they're used to, they weren't ready for that. Bill Hader just lost his mind during that skit.
I love watching him on SNL.
Oh my gosh,
how much he breaks.
He can't keep it straight. Neither can Jimmy Fallon. He's another one that can never just keep it straight.
Funnier than what they're doing.
Right. The line "Smoke It" from The Mask is improv. That's not in the script. And it's, I would argue, one of the most iconic lines from that movie. Right. Is not even a line in the movie. But what else? Alrighty then, another same thing. Alrighty then, not scripted, just came out with
it.
it.
He did that in his stand-up.
That becomes his catchphrase.
He might have.
He did do that in his stand-up.
Did he?
He did.
Yeah, I thought he did.
Yeah.
He brought that.
It's like
out.
right at the beginning too.
Sticking with Ace Ventura, that moment when they're in the village, Ace Ventura 2, When Nature Calls, he sneezes. That is not part of the script. When he says they did not know disease until the white man came. Yeah. And then he sneezes on the Africans that are sitting there. That is an ad-lib moment that's not in the script. That is so good. Big gulps, Dumb and Dumber. That line is not scripted. He just says to these random guys who are part of the movie, they're just extras. And he's not even supposed to talk to the extras. He just goes up to them and says, "Big gulps, huh? Well, see you later." That's not even in the script.
He waits at all. Like, I like it. He waits and you see you later.
Yeah.
Because they don't say anything.
It's so good.
I don't know what to say.
I don't remember that scene at all.
Oh,
that's at the gas station, yeah.
I can't go anywhere where this is a big gulp and just think about
Yeah,
that all the time.
exactly. Every time I see a big gulp, I want to say that. Same movie, Dumb and Dumber, when he sees the poster on the wall. I think this one everybody probably has heard. He sees a poster that says, it's from like the 1960s when they landed on the moon. And he stops and he says, "No way. We've landed on the moon." Yeah. Like he freaks out because it's like that. But that was not even in the scene at all. He just made that up. Ace Ventura again, singing Chitty Chitty Bang Bang in the car. That was not part of the scene. He just starts singing it. If you watch that movie again, you'll see his, what's the guy's name? From the consulate, like that's with him. He's the real straight lace guy.
Oh yeah.
He cracks. He starts to break. If you watch that movie again very carefully. The Mask. You mentioned when he's making the balloons, Brady. I do like the poodle when he puts the poodle down. That's in the script. But what's not in the script is when he pulls the condom out. That was not in the script. He pulls a condom out.
He goes,
and he says, "Sorry, wrong pocket." That is totally not from the movie. Wow. That what an incredible piece of I don't know. He just ad-libbed that. And then the most annoying sound in the world in Dumb and Dumber. That's ad-lib. That was totally Jeff Daniels. Watch Jeff Daniels in that scene. He breaks.
Oh yeah,
easily breaks. They are not ready for that noise. And the only way he doesn't laugh, is that he joins in and makes the same noise. That's the only way Jeff Daniels does not laugh. Watch that scene again. It is so funny. If you know that going in, it's such a good scene. All right, good breakup.
That'd be a good podcast. Best improv actors.
Yes, I think you got to put Will Ferrell in that scene.
Robin Williams.
Paul Rudd.
Robin Williams also ad-libbed a lot of things. John C. Reilly, just because he's with Will Ferrell, also ad-libbed
Steve
stuff.
Carell.
Do you think maybe Jim Carrey doing this kind of paved the way for other actors to ad-lib in comedies? Because like I said,
like that has a part of it.
Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber.
How far back you go with it?
Yeah,
especially Ace Ventura. Like that's what most people are. Well, it's almost like definitely lets the person do what they want to do because that's what the people want. They want what they can actually do versus like just following the script.
Yes.
So I think that had a big influence on it.
Okay, I agree.
I'm trying to think of other actors before Jim Carrey that did that type of improv.
There probably was,
acting.
but it wasn't as noticeable. I don't think.
Bill Murray, maybe.
Yeah. I'm sure they all did, but like when what Dylan's saying, it's just nobody really paid attention to it till then. So even if people were doing it, they didn't talk about it. They'll talk about it now.
Yeah,
but like it might be in like deleted scenes.
But now it's like
DVD
when somebody goes like before that, you didn't have people talking about, "Oh, I had lived that." Yeah. But now, then when you get to that era where he starts to do it, and everybody's like, "Oh, we want people like that. They like it more because they say
it's more organic."
You're following the script, but you're adding your own twist to it and making it more. Yeah.
But you're hitting on what I was saying. Like I think that they've always done improv. I think what Jim Carrey did was pave the way for actors to be more bold in saying, like, I'm going to try a new thing that I wasn't going to try before.
It lets more of their natural humor shine through.
But also made it so directors realized, oh, we kind of like that because it brings out.
Yes.
So they started to let it go.
And they kept the cameras rolling all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That when you mentioned Liar Liar, you don't have a gag reel from Ace Ventura because they didn't film a gag reel. But I think now you've got an improv king. Now Liar Liar comes out. The reason that they have a gag reel at the end, they kept the cameras rolling for these extra moments. I think he's the reason, honestly. Jim Carrey's the reason that you have gag reels.
To be honest with you, the only movie I've seen before, like his movie started doing that, Cannonball Run did it. That was it. That was the one time I ever saw where in the credits.
Saw MASH of all shows. MASH had a gag reel of all shows. But yeah, it has been done before.
Well, that was technically
Cannonball Run. Wow.
Yeah, Cannonball Run.
Wow.
They do it. Yeah, they do that. Scenes at the end like that.
Well, let's get into our final matchups. We've got what's left in the field is 7, 9, 11, and 12. So Underdog City. what the people feel are the best movies by Jim Carrey are not what our panel feel are the best movies by Jim Carrey. We have Ace Ventura, Bruce Almighty, The Grinch, and The Mask left in the field.
Can we do predictions?
Are we taking money bets?
$8,000.
That's outrageous.
$10 on me.
701. Say it again.
Let's jump into the first matchup. It's Ace Ventura and Bruce Almighty. We had a little bit of a stunner, I think. Bruce Almighty beat Dumb and Dumber. Does it have the gumption to take down another legendary movie?
I sure hope not.
It depends on what we all voted.
I'm going to be very sad if it does.
We all heard how passionately Maddie loves Bruce Almighty. So is it enough to overtake Ace Ventura?
She's carrying the teams for Bruce.
Trying to build momentum for this to be a potential upset.
I'm going to go with Ace.
Yeah. So if this were like an actual basketball game, this would be a close game, but Ace Ventura wins through talent alone. And it ends up being a 10-point win for Ace Ventura. They move into the championship. The other matchup on the other side, The Grinch and The Mask. This one, I think, is a more tightly contested matchup. I think you have two fantastic movies for two separate reasons. The Grinch is just a movie. You have to appreciate everything that went into making it.
It's a family movie.
It's a family movie. It's got that going for it. But also just the physical demands that it put on Jim Carrey to sit in that chair to get the makeup on 2 hours and then 2 hours at the end of shooting to take it off. Just incredible.
How was The Mask with that? Like, did he have to go
not as extensive. I would say an hour one way, hour the other. But still, like, there was a makeup process. That's a great point, Maddie. Actually, like, there two. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Two movies that required a lot of makeup. It's actually a great observation. Both are green. Tanner, thanks for your contribution.
Wow, Tanner.
An equally relevant contribution.
Yes. And I would even argue just way better than Maddie in every way.
I agree.
So what are we feeling on this?
I think The Mask.
Brady says The Grinch.
That's the trouble with no mic when you say things off the camera. You don't know.
I feel like The Mask probably goes with his personality a little better.
Okay.
I mean,
The Grinch was like up there with his best movies in my opinion.
Okay.
They're
Maddie thinks it's.
They're both very physical comedy movies. Like,
yes.
It's a lot of the motions that he does. So that's a tough one.
Notice that 3 of the 4, because I don't think Bruce Almighty necessarily is a physically demanding. There are moments though, like Maddie mentioned the scene where he's waking up and he's just kicking and flailing.
Yeah.
Flailing is the best way to describe what he did in that scene. But so he's definitely
We've all
physical
done
in every role he does. But I would say that the other 3, Ace Ventura, Grinch, and Mask, all 3 are physically demanding roles.
He had to make his way out of a rhino in Ace Ventura.
Did he have to though?
I think they said get out of the rhino. Or you're
I
gonna
hope
die.
that was.
If you stay in that rhino, you'll
I hope
die.
that was improv.
We're not opening the door.
The only exit is the rhino butt.
Here's your exit.
Good luck.
Oh, wow.
Come on out, Jim.
What a maniac! He didn't even know they were filming. He was trying to get out.
Yeah.
They all left for lunch and
Yeah.
forgot to turn off the camera.
That is real angst you hear coming out of that rectum.
I still like, look, it's giving birth.
The mother rhino.
Nature's beautiful.
Yeah.
In an absolute squeaker. You guys are going to be stunned. Or maybe not. I don't know. The Mask moves on to the finals.
Wow.
Beating out the Grinch. And I'm telling you, it was at least triple overtime. It was very close in the rankings. Very close. Championship, Ace Ventura and The Mask. You want to go ahead and write them up there? That's fine.
That's actually a really
Just so we don't
I like
forget.
that final. No.
Told you.
It's a great final.
Yeah.
Right? I think,
I called it.
me personally,
My top 2.
I'm kind of sad to see Dumb and Dumber and Ace Ventura on the same side.
Yeah.
personally, but not everybody felt the same way because they fell this way due to the rankings.
Well,
so
Dumb and Dumber didn't even get to go up against these.
That's right.
I definitely thought the semifinal was going to be Ace versus Dumb.
Yeah. Did you just shorten it like a cool person?
Ace versus Dumb.
Ace versus
We all had to absorb that for a minute.
I had to think about it.
Just be glad I didn't say
Did he
D&D.
say Ace versus Dumb? Yep, he did.
Just be glad I didn't say D&D.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna.
I thought
that was next. Ace Ventura and
Thank
the
God
Mask.
I didn't.
One came before the other. Ace Ventura came first. Can you check?
Not by long.
Can you check? Did the sequel? I think that was just before.
Just before the first one?
I think the second one came out
No, I thought it was
after The Mask. Like The Mask came out, and then in the same.
because I thought it was Ace Ventura then the Mask.
Yeah.
Didn't you say Ace?
Well, the first Ace was
Yes.
in '94.
Yeah.
But in '95 was, I think the second Ace Ventura, did it come out? It also came out in '95, right?
Pet Detective came out in '94. The Mask came out in '94.
Okay.
And then 2 came after that.
So then 2 was in
came out
'95.
In '95, yeah.
So he did The Mask
A lot of
before the
comedy.
second one,
He
but
did
you,
The
you got
Mask.
2 Ace Venturas
No.
sandwiched around The Mask. This
And
is
Dumb and Dumber.
match
and
made in
Batman.
heaven.
Between.
Yeah.
golden age of comedy.
So appropriately so, the best years of Jim Carrey's career are sandwiched in this championship.
I was going to ask
Sandwich!
which one you liked better.
Me personally?
Any of us, yeah.
Here's the problem with what I did. I put Ace Ventura 1 and 2 together, not foreseeing this problem that I have now. Because if I'm ranking these movies personally, I'm going Ace Ventura 1, The Mask, Ace Ventura 2.
Really?
That's the order that I put these movies in.
Okay. I liked the second one better.
That's fair.
Personally.
That's
thought
fair.
It was way funnier.
a lot of people
What
like When Nature Calls more than Pet Detective.
They did away with any attempt at a plot with the second one. And some people felt that it gave it more freedom.
Second one's got a decent plot.
So does the first one, but it's
The first
played for more laughs in the second one. Like the
I thought the
stakes,
second one was funnier.
the stakes
To
aren't as
kind of
high.
give you an example of how, like, the kind of help with this, I'll do a more extreme run. Anchorman versus Anchorman 2. Think about it that way. Anchorman had something, and Anchorman 2 didn't have anything. It was
Nothing.
just pure chaos.
Nothing.
So that's how I feel like with that. Yes, it does have a thing, but yes, it definitely was playing on the fact that Jim can do all this stuff. So let's with animals, let's make it crazy, even more crazy. I'm not saying it's not. I like the first one better, but there's a whole another.
I mean, there's a mystery.
Well, there's a whole other spectrum of him because I was a fan of him before he did movies, and then to see him, he's going to do this big movie, and what he was doing was awesome. So that's why I always think that's one of my favorite movies overall.
Is the second one?
No, first one.
And ironically, Jim Carrey's in the second Anchorman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
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 But like
But
for
see,
like
but
30
that's
seconds.
one
As
where I
a
like
Canadian reporter.
The most chaotic.
Yeah, that's the most.
Scene
Yeah,
ever.
that's chaos.
I think your example's spot on, but like to a more extreme.
It is. It's extreme.
Like
But
they
I'm trying
try
to
to have a story.
Yeah.
In Anchorman 2, and then it like
Not really.
falls apart.
They just felt like they needed to do, but really, it's like let's just. We love all the chaos. Let's do that.
They embrace
And
it.
I love it. Don't get me wrong.
The
I love
fight
that
scene
movie.
in Anchorman 2 is just off the wall.
It's crazy.
How many their cameos
They
there
just
are.
kept coming.
Yeah.
Will Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kanye. Just all kinds of crazy.
Amy Poehler.
Yeah.
Poehler.
Pause.
So good editing. You can move now, though. That was bizarre.
You said don't move.
Yeah.
I know. Sorry.
So, the lady,
Kirsten Dunst was in that scene.
Uh,
She's the angel.
yeah,
that blows
she-
the horn that starts the fight.
El Juiciest.
The
The juiciest.
Now you're getting deep in that scene. I don't remember any
I
of
was
that.
just looking up all the cameos.
So I didn't set it up this way, to be honest. Like the chips fell where they were supposed to fall, though, in this matchup because it is 1 versus 2, and that's what you want to see. And I'm not talking about the seeding. Like people did not give this overall 1 versus 2. This is actually 9 versus 7. But for us and the way we voted, it's appropriate that these two ended up together because it's 1 versus 2. But based on our voting,
The mask.
I'm going to go back up to the percentages because this came down to percentage points. The number one movie, either Ace Ventura or The Mask. Are you ready? Ace Ventura, our average vote, we gave it 3.00. So like third place average. And then The Mask, 3.57. So Ace Ventura sneaks away with the title as Best Jim Carrey Movie.
Yeah!
Jesus.
He said don't move.
You moved that, man.
You moved a lot.
Tanner almost fell off the set.
You knocked over my phone. It's got my notes on it. Notes.
All right, the voting went thusly. For The Mask, 2, 2, 5, 3, 4, 2, 7. I am the highest ranking for The Mask. I gave this was the 7th best movie in my opinion. So I'm actually the one that drug this out a little bit. Personally, Ace Ventura, 5 out of 7 of us gave it a first place ranking. And it was Brady who gave it 6th place. So he drug it down a little bit. And then I think Andrew gave it 10th. So he's not a big fan of Ace Ventura. Well, I mean, he likes it, but it's not his
I
favorite.
didn't understand it.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he didn't.
A little too
understand.
complicated for him.
No, this is supposed.
The plot
It's hard to follow. If you think
The
about
plot
it.
was hard.
There are some monkeys. You got distracted by the monkeys.
Fun facts about Ace Ventura.
Not to show up.
Fun facts. Ace Ventura cost $15 million to make. That's it. $15 million. Very low budget. But it made $107 million worldwide. So when you're looking at how much money a movie makes, whether it's a success or a bomb, basically you want to double the amount you spent and then some. And if you do that, then it's called a success. So I would say almost 10 times what it put into it gets back. It was a resounding success.
That's the first one?
That was the first Ace Ventura. It spawned a sequel and an animated show. How many of you in here knew that Ace Ventura had an animated show? Yeah, I watched that show when I was young.
I knew there was like a spinoff with like his kid or whatever.
It reminded me of like why I wasn't allowed to watch Ren and Stimpy.
It was bad.
It was kind of raunchy for a cartoon. But it wasn't Jim Carrey that voiced. I don't think he voiced the actual character, but it was close enough. As a kid, you didn't know. Guess what he made for Ace Ventura 1? Just guess. What do you think he made for that movie? Remember the budget.
Maybe 100,000.
Anybody else?
I think that might be high.
He said 150.
1 million.
Mill?
3 million.
Thoughts?
1.3
million. Okay. He actually made $350,000 for this movie.
I win.
Mine had a 3 in it. I win.
He did not make very much for this at all, but because of how well that movie did, they immediately greenlit a sequel and they offered him $7 million.
Yeah.
So he made a lot of money in the sequel, and he earned it. So Lauren Holly, ironically, she's the love interest in Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Lauren Holly ends up being his wife in real life. They got married in real life. I don't know if it was his first wife.
No.
It wasn't his first wife. Second
He had a daughter with his first wife.
Mary Samsonite.
The one, but he was very long.
So Lauren Holly, she does star in Dumb and Dumber with Jim Carrey. But she was actually offered the role of Melissa in Ace Ventura.
Oh, okay.
So ironically, she turned it down, and Courtney Cox jumps in and takes that role. And then Lauren Holly ends up being in Dumb and Dumber later. I thought that was fascinating, just how these actors and actresses turn roles down, and really interesting stuff. But parting thoughts on Ace Ventura and The Mask. Parting thoughts on Jim Carrey. Did you guys have a good? Did you have a good time? Did you have fun today?
I always have fun when I'm here.
Okay, I love to hear that. Probably with less eye contact. That's all right.
I had fun.
Anybody else?
I had fun.
No, I'm glad it went out the way it did, and even though we had upsets, we had good points on why they did. So
kept it interesting.
I like it when we vote as a group
Yeah.
because it's not just one person deciding, I think this movie's better than this movie. We'll do more like this, and obviously with the March Madness feel, it's really cool. We love to do this kind of stuff for the people, for the content. So stick around, more episodes to come. Hopefully we get to talk about some MCU movies. Also, DC gets to figure out what they're doing. Superman comes out this summer. A lot of interesting things coming in the movie world, giving us more to talk about.
There's a whole bunch of good movies coming
There
out
are
this year.
a lot. So we will have plenty of ammunition in the tank. Snow White excluded. But we will see you guys on the flippity.
Probably won't be the last time we talk about Snow White.
Yeah, it just happens.
All right. See you.
Until she does.